What's up guys? I got a new type of video. I'm actually going to be working on electronics today. I do that sometimes, but this one's on gaming consoles. I actually have 4 of them that I'm going to be using this thermal paste that I bought. Check it out. Got this for only $5 and it's supposed to be one of the best. Not the best, but it'll do the job better than cheap computer store stuff apparently. Anyways, this is my personal Xbox 360 Slim. Had it for many years, so I went ahead and cleaned out the whole thing. As you can see, all the components, parts chilling right here. And then right here, we're going to add the thermal paste. Put the cooling fan back on using the X brace on the back. Then I gotta do that a whole nother time because in this bin I have another 360 Slim. I already have it taken apart like this, cleaned out, and basically it's all ready for this. Also I have a PS3 Fat, which is very cool. It's a A01, which is the 2006 release model, PS2 hardware in it. I'm gonna restore that. Stay tuned. I'm going to try and sell it for like $600. This is a PS3 Slim that I haven't taken apart yet, but I'm going to do like I'm doing here. Take it all apart, get rid of all the dust, put thermal paste. So let's check out what we have to do for the 360. This 360, after I advertise it as freshly cleaned, new thermal paste, I have a couple other items. I have some of these 360 games and a Kinect, also some headsets. I'll be throwing in a controller and I'll try and get about 180 for the whole bundle. So I got the cooling fan on and I just used about a pea-sized glob of the thermal paste in the center. Squished it down and as you can see it perfectly went all the way 360. About the same size as the chip. And just enough for the cooling fan to be completely covered with no air bubbles. It's not good to do the X technique since it can trap air inside, but as you can see there, it nicely seated. Got them both set up, so now I can test them both. This one's mine. Moment of truth, it turned on. Went straight to the display, so I know mine works just fine. But to test it, I got this controller. Perfect. Let's test out the other one. Here goes the second one. Exactly what we wanted to see. There it is booting up. I can go ahead and open the tray. Gonna load up classic Forza Motorsport 4. Perfect. Skip sign in. Close tray. Let's make sure it can read the games. Can hear it running, the fan, but it's super quiet. There's good old Forza Motorsport. Playing one-handed, but it seems very responsive. And it's running very smooth. So I think for 15 bucks, this sure was a win. Finally, I'm gonna get to the Slim. Check it out, already on the underside. You can tell that this one's gonna be really dirty on the inside. So it's a big deal to get it cleaned out so that the fan can run clean and smoothly. And then we're gonna get the new thermal paste on it. Well, I was taking it apart. I got a couple of the caps off, just Phillips, a couple Torx, but in the center there's two security Torx and I don't have that bit. I really just removed this panel and already look at that. So this is going to be the dirtiest console I've ever cleaned. And great news, we got that security T8 bit, so we can take out these two screws and open up the back of the console. Got the top case off, it's pretty dusty. Even some spider webs in there. Now I can go ahead and get the rest of the internals off to clean out the inside of this and then re-put new thermal paste. I disconnect it from the motherboard because when you spin the fan without the power on, it's going to send electrical current that it generates back to the motherboard and can fry it. So make sure you disconnect it and you can go ahead. Take it apart as well, but you can do that for general dusting. For the fan and other components, you can use a damp toothbrush to really get up in there. Obviously one hand is not the best, but you get the idea. Then you can use that for the whole console. Wipe it down with a rag when you're done. Got some rusting going on, so make sure with steel wool you get that off. You don't want rust in your console. Most likely it was from moisture or water got in. Also, since we're here, we're going to be replacing the button cell battery. Make sure that it's a full rebuild. Taking the battery out, use a flathead right here. Pry it out. Positive goes on top, negative on the bottom. To make it even easier, you can leave the two little cables connected. Also the sensor and or the eject and power button. You can just leave it connected and swivel this upwards. Finally, we've reached the chips. And check out that paste. That's a little sticky. So it probably would have been okay for maybe another year, but it's old paste from the factory, and with the new paste it's going to perform a lot better. So let's clean up both sides. Add a pea-sized drop on both ends. Squeeze it down and assemble it back together. Awesome. Now I can just lower the shield. Be careful when you put it back for the cables. Bought this battery tester from O'Reilly's and I'm sure glad I did it many years ago. Comes in handy for many uses. Check this out. Button cell. And it's completely dead. Right on. I had a key fob for a car that I bought these for. This is coming in handy. It's not even ripped. It's brand new. So perfect. Let's pop it in. After you take the disc loader off, you can get to the laser. And you're supposed to use isopropyl alcohol, but I'm just using a really nice microfiber towel. I'm just going to wipe it gently, very gently. You can use white lithium, or I got some of this servo lubricant. I'm going to go ahead and use the toothbrush to apply a small thin layer on the rails, the little spin track on that motor, and then if we flip the assembly over, we can open this up and then get to the plastic gears and add some on there. After you applied it, make sure you run it back and forth a couple times. And then once you ensure that you've done that and that it all has grease up and down still, then you've done the job right. On the disk drive area, loader section, there's the gears in that corner you gotta put some grease on. And then when you flip it back, open up the back panel. Over here, these gears need to be with some grease. They're bone dry. Try and get it around all the edges. There's some clumps, that way they can get deep into the other gears, but it's best not to do that. Mainly just a thin layer. Alright, moment of truth. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Check it out. Set the time and date because we took out the battery. Pretty sure it's blinking because it's charging. But yeah, check that out. I'll be back when I set it. Sweet, loads games just fine. And I'm really excited. I got this arcade joystick for only $20. When I found out it was for PlayStation, not Xbox 360, that's the only reason why I had to get this entire console, just for this. I have an idea. I'm going to be doing a arcade cabinet, so stay tuned, subscribe if you'd like to see that. That's just a little sneak peek to this video, but check it out. If you're wondering, the PS3 Fat I'm saving for another day. I need some hardware, and I tried doing the D-lid myself. It's a bit hard of a process, so either I'm going to pay someone or just get the proper tools to do it. Hopefully this inspired you to clean up and fix your console. I have plenty more consoles that I'm going to be posting on my channel, so subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching.